You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the June 14th, 2023 meeting of the LaPorte County Sheriff Merit Commission. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good morning. I'd like to welcome you to the June 14th, 2023 meeting of LaPorte County Sheriff's Merit Board. If you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Following that, if you please honor a moment of silence for John McDaniels, who recently passed away. He was a former Merit Board member and a process server for the county. Laura, how about you?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to note that Mr. Schooley and Ms. Mock are not present, but we still have a quorum, so we can proceed. Anyone want to get an opportunity to review the minutes from last month?
Yeah.
If so, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion, do I have a second? Have a motion, second. Any questions? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Thank you. Well, good morning, Sheriff-elect Heeg.
Good morning, Mr. Kimmel. How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm very well this morning. I do have a couple of promotional request items that did not make the agenda, but if you don't mind, I'll go ahead and go through the three of these. And it says, to the Sheriff's Merit Board, whereas applicant Julian Sanchez, a member of the department eligible for the promotion to the rank of regular patrolman, except as noted in waiver request form G, if any, attached, has been found to have made the highest grade written examination, years of service grade, and service rating grade total, as per reported on the LaPorte County Sheriff's Department eligibility list published by the Sheriff's Merit Board. In my opinion, appears to have all the necessary attributes to properly discharge his duties in the rank sought. I hereby respectfully request the approval of the board for his promotion to that rank. Whereas applicant Justin D. Gorney, a member of the department eligible for the promotion to rank of regular patrolman, except as noted in waiver request form G, if any, attached, has been found to have made the highest grade in written examination, years of service grade, service rating grade total, as per reported on the LaPorte County Sheriff's Department eligibility list published by the Sheriff's Merit Board. In my opinion, he appears to have all the necessary attributes to properly discharge his duties in the rank sought. I hereby respectfully request the approval of the board for his promotion to that rank. And whereas applicant Matthew Disbrow, a member of the department eligible for the promotion to the rank of regular patrolman, except as noted in waiver request form G, if any, attached, has been found to have made the highest grade in written examination, years of service grade, and service rating grade total, as per reported on the LaPorte County Sheriff's Department eligibility list published by the Sheriff's Merit Board. In my opinion, he appears to have all the necessary attributes to properly discharge his duties in the rank sought. I hereby respectfully request the approval of the board for his promotion to that rank.
That's some exciting news.
Very exciting.
Thank you, sir. I would make the recommendation that we make a motion to approve all three of them at one time, just unless someone has an objection. Okay, so I have a motion then.
So moved.
Have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions? All in favor of the promotions as presented by the sheriff signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Thank you, sr.
Thank you. I was just telling Connie, it's hard to believe it's been a year already for those gentlemen. It's gone by fast. So, all right, we'll start off with the agenda. Our calls for service between April and May have increased. Our total calls for service increased 6%. Our crash reports increased, our citations increased, disabled vehicles increased, car deer accidents increased, and all three shifts saw a significant increase in their calls for service. That comes as no surprise. It's because we're getting into the summer months and the shifts are just busier. The citations have increased quite a bit as well too, but they've also been doing a lot of click it or ticket and DUI enforcement. So we've had extra guys out doing traffic enforcement. You had mentioned the passing of Mr. McDaniel. He passed at the age of 82. He served on the Sheriff's Department Merit Board for several years and was a process server. Our thoughts and prayers go out to his wife Carol and his family. New officers Patrick Guido, Sawyer Lafoon, and Xavier Biggerstaff continue their ILEA training down in Plainfield. They started on May 1st, and it is reported that all three are doing extremely well. Deputy Buford finished his FTO on June 9th, and he is currently assigned to the afternoon shift where he's now solo. We recently held a hiring process in which we only had 2 individuals show up for the process. They were excluded from the process after the physical agility and written test. We also had 2 individuals that were a no-call, no-show. At our recent Monday morning administrative meeting, we were trying to discuss different avenues and different ways that we can maybe help further recruit. With recruiting, as we still have 2 remaining spots to fill. Captain Allen and I met with organizers of Red Wine and Brew, and we have begun to plan and prepare for the upcoming 3-day event that will take place June 30th, July 1st, and July 2nd. Captain Smythe and I met with the LaPorte County Fair Board and have begun to plan and prepare for this year's fair, which is scheduled to take place July 9th through July 15th. I'd like to give you a little bit of an update on our Marine Patrol. Captain Smythe has been busy with that, and we received another grant from the Department of Natural Resources again to provide overtime pay for the officers that are out on the lake patrolling. We recently traded in one of our older boats that we had that had been sitting in basically storage for the last several years because it just was not conducive to our needs. And with some money that out of our Marine Patrol donation account, we were able to purchase a jet ski that our officers are able to use on some of the smaller inland lakes. It just makes for a faster response time and a little bit quicker to the guys get on the lake as needed. So. Want to provide an update on the flood project. I will defer to the chief if he wants to provide the update on the flood project and the construction.
Sure. Good morning. So everything, there was a brief pause. You may or may not be aware of that, but things are back moving forward and we're happy to see that. So just talking with the work crews yesterday, we were able to get the Detective Bureau back, for the most part, back up and running. Pretty important part of what we do, their recording system for all of our interviews, that is updated, and it sounds like it's a really nice machine. It's even going to have a little bit more options. It's updated, so it kind of worked out to our benefit as well as fixing this the flood. So anyways, so the Detective Bureau is doing well as far as progressing. In our merit division over in administration area, they tell me they're going to start painting maybe as early as this week, the finished paint. So this is exciting stuff for us. And then obviously that's the first phase. We have a second phase, and it seems like it's we didn't lose much time with the delay. So it can't happen quick enough. It's been frustrating. It's a distraction for everybody. And we talk about it a lot, and there's a lot of discussion that goes in each day about this project. But we are happy to see that there is progress and we're getting there. So it'll still be sometime yet this year, I think we'll be done. But we're good.
If I can, Chief, some of the equipment you alluded to for the Bureau, is that equipment that was damaged due to the flooding?
I assumed everybody knew that. Yes, so the entire recording system was damaged from the flood.
Okay.
That was found out initially, actually Captain Heineck reported it, and so worked really well with the commissioners, and they were able to secure the funds to get that, on a priority for the obvious reasons, because what we do doesn't stop. So they were able to maintain while that happened, but we're back up, and it sounds like a really good system. Other agencies, it's done a nice job of letting the other agencies that use our facilities daily how to use it. There's a training that's going to come with that. So yeah, I'm sorry. I assumed that you guys were fully aware of all of that, but yes.
Well, I assume just want the public to know what's, give
Absolutely.
them as much information as we can so the questions don't
Yes,
bounce out there. So
completely get it. Thank you.
thank you.
I'd like to provide an update on a project that Sheriff Boyd had been working on for several years when he was here, and that was to install a generator at our maintenance garage when they built that 20 years ago. That never came with a generator, and every time the power would go out there, guys would be left stranded with their cars on the rack or whatever because they didn't have the power to bring the cars down. And I know Sheriff Boyd had worked on this project for many years during it, and we were able to finally, after several years of this, we were able to get the generator that was at the 8th Street and Wabash building. We were able to get that moved because that was a fairly new generator when they put that in there several years ago, and get that moved over to our maintenance garage. So that has been moved. It has all been installed, and according to the chief, they will be in on this coming Monday to switch it over to get it fully installed. So that's been a project, and that was a long time coming. So now when the power goes out or in any type of emergency situation, we'll have the power to continue to manage our fleet and everything. So that was a good project. We have begun to prepare for the upcoming budget hearings, which will take place here at the end of July. We are going to ask for several increases in certain areas, such as training, uniform, and our Interact bill, to name a few areas. Our training, the cost of training, the demands of training have increased exponentially over the several years, so we'd like to see an increase in that budget. And same with uniforms. Our uniforms, the cost of the uniforms have increased quite a bit over the last several years, and we haven't seen an increase in those two certain areas in the budget. So we are going to ask for some certain increases in the budget this coming year. So I don't think it's going to be met with a whole lot of opposition. We've been talking to certain members of the council, and they all seem to be supportive of it so far. So. I do have a couple letters of commendation that I'd like to read. One is by Captain Heineck, reference the National Veteran Awareness Ride that came through Michigan City. It says, Sheriff Heeg and LaPorte County Merit Board, on Wednesday, May 24th, 2023, I had the opportunity to participate in the National Veterans Awareness Ride from Michigan City to the Indiana Veterans Home in Lafayette. The ride provides awareness to those who have served and specifically pay a visit to those veterans housed in our state facility. To say this is a humbling event each year is an understatement. LaPorte County Sheriff's Office has assisted with the escort and traffic every year, and this year's event wouldn't be possible without that traffic assistance. Upon my arrival in Lafayette this year, I was approached by several people who had been riding across the United States and remarked on how well organized our agency was along the route, ensuring the rider's safety. Captain Derek Allen ensures this escort is arranged and set up each year. I'd like to recognize his efforts and those who assisted, including myself, Captain Derek Allen, Captain Dallas Smythe, Sergeant Nate Sergeant Adam Hannon, Sergeant Jim Lear, Detective Alex Pishker, Deputy Keith Waltz, Deputy Troy Ryan, Deputy Corey Chavez, and Deputy John Samuelson. Thank you for allowing me to recognize the above listed deputies for their commitment to our community and veterans. Respectfully submitted, Andrew Heineck, Chief of Detectives. And I have another one here also by Captain Heineck, reference a fatality accident. So Sheriff Heeg, on Thursday, May 25th, 2023 at 2:20 p.m. in the afternoon, our agency responded to a fatal traffic crash in rural Wills Township on County Road 50 North, where tragically a well-known and respected young man lost his life. To complicate the scene, the young man's mother was the first on scene and found her son. Sergeant Ryan L. Cock, along with deputies Micah Hatley, should be Doc Monovic, William Masterson, and Tyler Oberholzer, responded and conducted an investigation. Several days later, I had the opportunity to speak to the parents, and they spoke very highly of our agent's professionalism and compassion at the scene, which was very near their home. The previously mentioned deputies, who are young themselves, maintained composure in the face of tragedy, and ultimately their representation of our agency was noticed. And I wanted to ensure that you were made aware of this. Shortly after being notified of the crash, I contacted Deputy Paul Adams, the SRO at New Prairie, to ensure he was aware. Deputy Adams immediately began communicating a plan with the school administrators, which ultimately led to the memorial service occurring at the school. I asked Deputy Adams to volunteer alongside me to assist where needed with traffic and logistics. As we stood near the main entrance, I watched as countless students came in, and upon seeing the calming face of the SRO, immediately gravitated to Deputy Adams, giving him a hug or a handshake. Deputy Adams displayed compassion and support for the student body that I simply cannot put into words. Again, representing the LaPorte County Sheriff's Office with extreme professionalism. Thank you for allowing me to recognize these deputies. Respectfully submitted, Captain Andrew S. Heineck, Chief of Detectives. And in typical Sheriff Heeg fashion, that's all I've got today. Attached, you will see the Warrant Division, Detective Bureau, and Jail Monthly Reports attached.
Thank you, sir. Any comments from the floor? Comments from the floor? Hearing none. Comments from the board. And just note that Miss Mock did make it in. Glad to see you're safe and everything's okay with you, Louise. So do you have any comments?
So, no, I need my own parking space.
She needs her own parking place. Jim? Laura?
No, other than Miss Mock missed the fact that he mistook me for you today. He called me Miss Mock.
I had you on my mind, Louise, hoping you were going to be okay.
And I am okay, thank
So
you.
no deers or anything, or? Okay, I guess not. Okay. Couple things on a little bit on the lighter side. I see that the captain is here. How's that jet ski doing? Have you been out to test drive it, or need to get a report on it? I heard it's pretty quick across the water.
It's phenomenally quick across the water. I have not been out myself. Deputy Morse took it out last weekend to start getting the break-in period. Obviously, there's a break-in period of it. He plans on taking it out Sunday and finishing the break-in period because we don't want to put it in operational use until we have that break-in period. Actually, the reason I was late for the meeting today is I was out at the garage looking at some light options for it to get some lights on it, and we do have stars on it at this point, but we're looking at some options to put sheriff coming up the front on it. So
I'm sure that'll open some eyes.
I'm sure it will. It's going to be a tremendous piece of equipment for us. It's going to make our job a lot easier out there. So.
Good. Well, I'm glad everyone was able to find funding for that and get it put in service. I did see a photograph on Facebook last night, and it just former employee Mike Kellum was in Detroit night before last, I believe, and threw out the first pitch. I believe it was for a law enforcement officers week, and I thought it was rather nice of Mike to make the trip up there to represent all of his comrades in the field. And I sent him a text and asked him how many bounces it took to get to the mound or to the plate, and he said that afterwards he had to apologize to the catcher because he threw him his heat. I find that rather humorous, but again, thanks for Mike for going up and doing that. And then finally, totally unrelated, I'd like to congratulate the New Prairie High School girls fast pitch team for capturing New Prairie's first ever state championship this past weekend. So I know that was really exciting for the community and for the young ladies that accomplished that. So that's all I have. Are there any other comments? Hearing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Motion seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Meeting adjourned at 9:20 a.m. Thank you.